The sed command is a very powerful shell utility on Linux. Sed is used to filter and transform text. So the most common way to use sed is the sed substitution. That's probably the most common way to use this. And a sed substitution looks like this. You type sed and then inside single quotes you do S for substitution and then slash some pattern you're going to search for. I'm going to call the pattern old and then slash new. Now new is going to be what you replace old with, and then most of the time you're going to tack on a G at the end and then the path to some file. What this will do is it's going to search this file, and every instance of old it's going to substitute it with new, and then it's going to print that out to standard output. And I can show you this in action. If I cat out this file here, I've got a test file on my system. This is a standard just placeholder text. This is your standard lorem ipsum. And I notice in this file there are several instances of the word ut, ut. There's 4 or 5 different instances of this in this document. So I'm going to do a sed substitution. So I'm going to sed and then inside single quotes S for substitution, ut. That's the pattern it's going to look for. And then what should it replace UT with? How about capital UT? And then slash G for a global substitution. So all instances of UT will be replaced. And if I hit enter on that, it prints out to standard output. So it doesn't write to the file. You can write to the file, but you have to give it a special flag. By default, though, sed just prints to standard output. And you can see every instance of UT was now changed to a capital UT. There's one. There's one, and here is one in the middle of the word. You notice, though, this one here, UT, was not substituted because it was not lowercase ut, right? Because that's what we searched for. By default, sed is case sensitive, so it left this one alone. Now, most of the time when you run a sed substitution, you're going to do it just like this. S and then slash old slash new slash G for global substitution. If you do not add the G for global substitution, what it's going to do is it's going to substitute the first instance of lowercase ut on each line with capital UT. So it's going to search each line and the very first instance. So if you have multiple instances of lowercase ut on a line, it's only going to substitute the first. And if I hit enter, now in this case, I don't think I had multiple instances of UT on a line because this is a line, it just had the one instance. This is a line, it just had the one instance. This is a line, it just had the one instance. But if there was more than one on a line, it's only going to replace the first time it finds the pattern. And I mentioned that sed is case sensitive by default, but if you want to, you can tack on a I in the last part of the sed substitution command. So this time let's do S and then UT with capital UT, G for global substitution, and then I for case insensitive. So we're going to search for UT, and we really don't care if it's capital or lowercase. It really doesn't matter, but I want you to replace it with capital UT. If I hit enter, now you can see that this UT that wasn't changed before because it didn't match the lowercase pattern that we were searching for. Now we told it with the I flag, we really don't care if it's capital or lowercase, and it changed that one as well. Now by default, sed uses basic regular expressions. So if I up arrow and run this command again, except this time I'm just going to throw in a basic regular expression. So I'm going to do replace UT when it appears at the beginning of the line and case insensitive, because obviously it will probably begin with a capital U if it's at the beginning of the line. And let me hit enter on that. And as you can see, it worked as expected. It replaced the instance of UT at the beginning of the line, but in the middle of the line, it left these alone. Now, if you want to use extended regular expressions, you need to tack on a dash capital E for extended regular expressions. And then you have all the extended regular expressions available to you. And I can show you an example of this. Let's do a search, and let's do a search inside the test file, and we're going to search once again for a pattern. Let's search for UT. So I'll do inside parentheses this time, and then the slash, and then one more slash and G. It'll be a global substitution, but I'm going to do a pattern match for UT, and what I want this to do is I want it to change UT to uppercase. So I'm going to do backslash capital U for uppercase, and what do I want you to change to uppercase? I want you to change the pattern that we're matching in this first part of the sed substitution. So I need to specify that with a backslash 1. So I want you to uppercase /1, which is this pattern in parentheses here, and then the test file. And if I did this correctly, what it's going to do, it's going to find every instance of UT lowercase because it's case sensitive, and it's going to change it to uppercase because that is what this extended regular expression told sed to do. So sometimes when you run sed, you want to do multiple pattern matches. You want to basically run multiple sed commands, but all as one command. You can do that with sed -lowercase e, and then I could do, for example, I could search for old to replace it with new, and then -e again, and then another sed command of some kind. Maybe it's another substitution where I want to substitute 1 for 2, and then give it, the path to some file. And to show you this in action, once again, let's just do something on the test file, and let's do a sed substitution once again for UT to capital UT, and maybe let's search for instances of ET and substitute that with capital ET, and you can see we found several instances of both. Now, so far, all we've been doing with sed is just substituting the pattern, right, and then just printing the result to standard output. We have not actually written to the file. Now, let's talk about writing the changes to the file. All you need to do is tack on -i at the beginning of the sed command, and now it's going to do what is called an in-place substitution. So it's actually going to in place, meaning inside the file, it's going to write these changes. And if I do that, and now if I cat out test, you can see that the test file, those changes were written to the file. You see capital ET, capital UT. Now, I would say about 95% of the time that I use sed, I'm using it for substitution, but sed is a very powerful program. It can do a million different things. For example, if I cat my /rc and pipe it into head, the standard head command, what it does is you can give it a certain number of lines and it will print those lines from that file into standard output. By default, it does the first 10 lines. But if I wanted to, I could achieve the same effect with sed. I could cat my /rc into sed. I can give sed the -n flag, and then I can give it a line number or a line range. I'm going to do 1, 10 P. So 1 through 10, and then P means print the standard output. And you can see I get the first 10 lines of my /rc. You can see this command sed-n and then 1, 10 P is the same basically as your head command. Now, what if instead of printing a specific range of lines, or if I wanted to, I could give it a specific line. So maybe instead of 1 through 10, just line 10. But sometimes you want to actually do a search, a pattern match, and then print the line or the lines that contain the pattern. So in this case, if I up arrow, get rid of the number, and then inside the slash search for some pattern. In this case, my /rc I know has many instances of the word alias. So just print the lines that contain the string alias. And now it printed all the lines that had the string alias, but you can see no other lines. So that is very useful. It's almost like a grep, right? It searches for a pattern and then it prints all the lines that contain the pattern. Now this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for some pattern. So once again, I'll search for the pattern alias in my /rc, except instead of giving it -n and then the P for print, no -n, but I'm going to give it D for delete and .bashrc. What this is going to do, it's going to search for the string alias, and it's going to delete all of those lines. Now, I didn't do an in-place substitution because I didn't tack on -i. It's not going to write to the file. Again, we're just printing to standard output. If I do that, it found all the lines that had the string alias and it deleted them, because that's why this section here, aliases, this was all of my bash aliases that it just removed those lines, right? One cool thing you can do with a in-place substitution, if you want to write to a file, you can actually create a backup of the file before you write to it. So you can do, for example, -i.bak. So what this is going to do, it's a sed in-place substitution.bak, write to a new file and give it the extension .bak for backup, and then you can search for your pattern on some file. For example, the test file I know had about 8 lines in it. It had 4 paragraphs, and each of them were separated by a space, which is also a line. Let's get rid of some of those lines. Let's do the range 1 to 4. D. So delete lines 1 through 4 in the test file. But what I want you to do is I want you to also create a backup of the test file called test.bak. Let me hit enter on that. If I ls to list my home directory, you can see I've got test. and now I have test.bak. If I cat test, because I did the sed substitution and I deleted lines 1 through 4, you know, I don't have as much here as I did before because it deleted the first couple of paragraphs plus some of the spacing around it. But if I cat test.bak, which is the backup, this was the original file before I ran that sed deletion. One extremely useful sed command that it won't be used all the time, but when you have a need for it, it's extremely useful. Sometimes you'll have a file that has a lot of empty space, a lot of empty lines. Maybe the file is double spaced and it doesn't need to be double spaced for what you need to do. How can you get rid of all the empty lines in a file? Well, you can do that with a sed command. I can give sed this command here, so sed, and then we're going to search for a pattern, and what we're going to search for is the beginning of the line, and then after the beginning of the line, any space. So this is going to include spaces and tabs, and then the $ is the end of the line. So basically any line that's completely empty, D to delete, and then the path to some file. And again, we're not doing an in-place substitution here or deletion in this case, so I could do this on anything. Let's delete all of the white space or all of the empty lines in my bash RC. If I hit enter, you can see where there were empty lines, you know, spacing, you know, to make this document much more readable, right? But now it has gotten rid of all the empty lines. If I up arrow and do the same thing on the test file, you can see this was 4 paragraphs separated by some empty lines, but I got rid of the empty lines by doing this really neat regular expression here and then deleting all that empty space. One neat thing you can do with sed, you can use sed to add lines to a file, to insert lines to a file. For example, this command here, sed-i for in-place writing, right? We're going to in-place, we're going to write to the file whatever we do here. And what we're going to do is we're going to search for the first line. So 1 is the first line, I insert something before the first line. And what do I want you to do is I want you to add this line of text. You can see backslashes surround it, and then a new first line is going to be the new line that gets inserted before the very first line of the file. Let's do this to my bash RC. I don't mind doing this to my bash RC because it's such an easy thing to correct later. If I hit enter, and now let's do a head on my bash RC. So the first 10 lines, you can see the very first line is a new first line. If instead of inserting something at a specific line number, maybe you want to instead do a sed and then search for a pattern. So inside single quotes, we could search for some pattern and then /i for insert, and then once again do a backslash and then a new line, for example. And if I did this, for example, on my .bash RC, I would actually have to give it a correct pattern to search for. I know an instance of my name is somewhere in that file, so let me do a sed substitution. And if I hit enter, it's going to print out a gigantic document, my bash RC. But if I scroll all the way back toward the top, which is where my name appears, you can see it inserted a new line, right? I've called a new line right before that line that contained the string Derek. Now, if instead of inserting the new line before the pattern match, maybe sometimes you want to insert a new line after the pattern match. Well, all you need to do is instead of doing I for insert, do A for append. So meaning the next line down. And if I do this command, and let's go ahead and pipe it into head, that way I don't get all of the output, but you can see now it did a new line of text after the pattern match on my name. So there you have it, a little bit of what you can do with the sed command, a very powerful command, and there's much more to the sed command than what I've demonstrated on video today. So please type man sed in the terminal to read the man page.